Greetings, everyone. Welcome. This is Two-Way Tonight, coming to you live. Say you're looking live. This is the showroom in Gotham City of Great American Company, Fairway and Green, one of our sponsors here, and just extremely talented people on the creative side. They design beautiful clothes, manufacturing, and then the business side. And so 7 o'clock, stick around. You'll meet two of the principals here, two of the great creators and business folks who make this company work and sell fantastic stuff. And as I've told you all week, if you're looking to do your Christmas shopping, just get it done. Clients, customers, employees, family, friends, tonight's the night. The folks at Fairway and Green will show you their wares, stuff like this beautiful shirt. And they'll tell you how you can buy it, whether you want two-way merchandise. What employee wouldn't want a two-way shirt? Or your own corporate logo, or just unadorned, no logo, but just great, really well-made, great American company. So 7 o'clock Eastern time, stay with us. And three of you, without any purchase required, will be eligible to win a $250 gift certificate, Fairway and Green. So we'll see it. Stick around. A special 90-minute episode here tonight. As to our regular program, there's so much news today on so many different fronts. It's kind of mind-boggling. Epstein and the shutdown continue to linger as stories, and some of the fallout from those things. But there's like 9 other stories that occurred during the day today on various fronts, and I'll run through them. And I'll do that with our great guests. Two great guests, two of our favorites here, just brilliant strategists, people with big hearts in politics and government for the right reason. And just they're going to explain the whole thing to you. Ashley Etienne, former advisor to both Nancy Pelosi and Speaker Harris, or Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, and Kristin Davison, who's worked for, amongst others, Senator Cruz and the governor of Virginia, the outgoing governor of Virginia, Governor Youngkin. So they'll be here in a moment. And then, as always, we'll take your questions. Later in the program, your questions about news of the day. If you're here on the Two-Way platform, raise your hand. And if you want to ask questions about Fairway and Green, including how you can do your Christmas shopping tonight, or be eligible for one of the three $250 gift certificates, please raise your hand on the platform. But let's say you're watching on X or YouTube because you like the passive one-way experience. You can't raise your hand, but you also should avoid smack in the chat. This beautiful showroom deserves better than smack in the chat. So please, if you go in there and comment, just think about peace, love, understanding, presumption of grace to all. Happy to have you here. We recently had to kick someone off the platform because of their smackitude. We don't want to do that. That's not what we're about. So please, no smack in the chat. So in a moment, we'll start running through the news, and then we'll get the program underway. But before we do, a word from another one of our great sponsors, the folks at Chef IQ. Go to chefiq.com, promo code Two-Way for 30% off. And tonight, in lieu of my normally description of stuff, I'm going to read you an email I got today from one of you, member of the Two-Way community. Good afternoon. I want to, this person writes, I didn't get permission to say their name, but it's a respected member of the community. Good afternoon. I want to share a simple message, smack free, they say. I do occasional traditional slow barbecue cooking on a wood-fired smoker and open fire cooking as well. I'll summarize, they had an old system, but they said you recommended it, so I took a look at Chef IQ based on your recommendation. Not only was the price much more reasonable, especially with the discount, but their customer service was exceptional in quickly responding to my various questions. The thermometer probes are on the way, and I'm looking forward to using them when I cook our turkeys for Thanksgiving. Just wanted to say thank you, not only for the shows, which I watch twice daily, but also for the intro to Chef IQ. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you for the great email. And again, go to chefiq.com, promo code Two-Way, 30% off. You won't regret it. All right. I'm going to just bring our guests in because I don't want to try to cover the news without them. And they're going to have a lot to say. Some of this news, I say, is right up their alley. Right up their alley. Ashley, welcome back. So happy to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Tell the people who are new just a little bit about your background. How'd you get involved in this racket we call politics and government?
No, I have a deep affection for the American people and their well-being. So that drove me to Washington, D.C. Since I've been in Washington, as you mentioned, I've worked up and down Pennsylvania Avenue At the very top was Speaker Pelosi's communications director during the first Trump term, and then did 2 stints at the White House, one for Obama as a special assistant, and then I was the vice president's communications director. So I've had a storied career in politics,
Yeah.
all protecting the interests of the American people.
Yeah. And when people ask you what you do for a living or say on your tax returns, what do you put as your occupation?
So I'm a CEO of my own firm. I've got a firm where we do full service communication strategy. Mostly we support CEOs that are facing crises because I have a reputation for being a crises manager. So that's what I do now. I also am
CEO for CEOs.
yeah, exactly. From
Yeah.
one to the other.
Yeah. I'm sorry I interrupted you. What was the other thing you were going to
That
say?
was it. I mean, I think I was just going to say I'm a political contributor on television and I'm
Yeah.
writing this wonderful book about power
About power. When's that coming out?
in the next year and a half. Keep your
All
fingers
right.
crossed.
All right. Well, grateful to have you here. Thank you for joining. And
Thanks.
Kristin Davison has been here for a long time over the history of two-way, and we couldn't be happier to have you here. What do you put on your tax return? Your consultant? Is that what you put down?
Yeah, I'm one of the evil consultants everyone talks about, right? I feel like that
Yeah.
word hasn't been.
And you work for one of the most successful consultancies in America, right?
I do, yeah.
How many people work at that giant company of yours? Hundreds.
Hundreds, yeah. I think right
Yeah.
now on an off year, probably around 200 maybe.
200.
Yeah, someone could fact check about that, but a lot.
And you do some corporate work and some political work, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do all.
All right, ladies, welcome in again. So grateful to you both for being here. If you're here on the platform and want to get in, please raise your hand. Okay, so when presidents of both parties have hit some speed bumps, the media goes crazy and says, perils of Pauline, the whole thing's collapsing around their ankles. I remember when I covered Bill Clinton, I think it was Bill Clinton, they put him on the cover of Time magazine, the incredible shrinking president. So this is the nature of coverage of presidencies. But particularly for Donald Trump, the media is just always looking to say. So we're in one of those phases now. And here's the Washington Post headline, which is typical of the tone of the current coverage in the dominant media. Number one, please, Sam. I will read it. Trump faces resistance in MAGA movement over immigration. Epstein, the rare criticism showed the limits of the president's authority over the America First agenda and raised some GOP concern about enthusiasm ahead of the midterms. I could give you other examples, but Ashley, is this administration in crisis? The polling suggests it's not the high point of his time, but how would you, if you worked in the Trump White House and the president said, Ashley, how are things going? What would you say?
I would say it's time to recalibrate. You've got a situation where on Tuesday, voters sent a clear message up and down the ballot, a clear rejection of Trump's economic agenda and his failed economy. We've seen what was his coalition coming out of the 2020 election. 2024 election kind of wither away. I mean, you saw it in New Jersey with, in the counties that were heavily Latino. Many of those voters are now swinging back to the Democratic Party. Now, will that hold? I'm not really sure. But it was a clear message that voters were sending to the president. NBC had this poll that said 70% of voters are going to the polls to send a message to the president. And again, it was a strong, forceful one. So here's why you need to recalibrate. One, I don't see the economy turning around. By their own admission, the administration has said that they're in the middle of a recession, that inflation is too high, that costs are too high. This is their own admission. And so there's no plan to sort of address that. And that, I think, is going to be a concern for the president. As much as he tried to, the other factor I would say stood out to me is that in areas in Virginia, for example, where they tried to use their sort of typical playbook, using their wedge issues from transgender issues to the issue of crime, did not work this time. It did not work. I mean, people were voting on the economy. So that would be my message to the president. We've got to figure out how to recalibrate.
Thank you for that. Kristin, the press has no patience for any president blaming his or her someday predecessor. And for a while, the president wasn't doing that. But today, the administration seemed to go back to that. And the polls show clearly who's responsible for the economy, overwhelmingly Trump, not Biden. Here's the vice president, a preview of his interview with Sean Hannity tonight, blaming Biden. Number 4, please.
I know that there are a lot of people out there, Sean, who are saying things are expensive. And we have to remember they're expensive because we inherited this terrible inflation crisis from the Biden administration. But you've already seen signs that things are getting better. The price of eggs has gone way down. The price of energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline has gone way down. And as we know, when the price of energy goes down, that starts to filter out into the entire economy, but that also takes a little bit of time. There's another component of this, Sean, which to me is maybe the most important because I care so much about our young people being able to afford a good life. A lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the country with 30 million illegal immigrants who were taking houses that ought by right go to American citizens. And at the same time, we weren't building enough new houses to begin with, even for the population that we had. So what we're doing is trying to make it easier to build houses, trying to make it easier to build factories and things like that so that people have good jobs. We're also getting all of those illegal aliens out of our country, and you're already seeing it start to pay some dividends.
All right, Krista, before you weigh in and say whether you agree with Ashley, he needs a recalibration. Here's Kevin Hassett, head of the Economic Council, up in theory to be head of the Fed, also blaming Joe Biden. Number 5, please.
Bottom line is that when Joe Biden and the Democrats were running the country over the last 4 years, the typical American family lost $3,400 worth of their purchasing power. And already in President Trump's first few months of this year, then people have gained about $1,200 of it back. And so we understand that people still feel the pain from the deep hole that Biden's policies dug, but we're making up progress. We're making up progress fast. And you had a clip of Secretary Bessent, my good friend, a little bit later saying that we're going to close the gap and fill the hole that Biden dug relatively quickly. We see really high wage growth, and inflation is much more under control.
So, Kristin, where are you? Do you agree with Ashley of recalibration, or is just blaming Joe Biden until they hope the economy gets better good enough?
Well, the blame part is not new to this administration. I used to keep a tally, even in the second Obama term, how many times he blamed George W. Bush for problems. So this is, typical. It's nothing new, and it's factual. I mean, presidents do inherit what came before them. I think the last clip is probably closer to where we need to be. It's not a full calibration. I think that you can do both. I think you can acknowledge the fact that the previous administration got us into a really, really bad hole, and that's why you elected President Trump. That's why you elected, J.D. Vance. And I think there's a nuance here that really Trump has always done so well. And that's where voters, hear Trump and they feel like he feels their pain. So there needs to be a nuance here where it's, yes, we were in a deep hole. We've already, started filling that hole, but we understand that you're still hurting a little bit. We know that. We know that, you're going to be Christmas shopping and maybe buy, one toy, not two. We understand. So we know we have a long way to go, but we've already made some progress. I think there's a nuance there. Maybe it's not Trump himself, but someone needs to, kind of show that, we still hear you. We've only been in office for less than a year. The hole that was dug is probably, is one that would take mountains to move, and we've already come so far, but we know we have a long way to go because we will not stop until every American citizen has the opportunity to live a better life. I think that's the nuance there.
Yeah. Kristin, in my head, I'm imagining all the people I know at the White House who watch this show every evening, scribbling notes furiously and saying, we just saved 80 grand. We don't need to pay Kristin a cent for recalibration. So really, really good. Healthcare, obviously, I'm sensing, and I wanted to start doing some qualitative and quantitative work to see if what I'm hearing on my fingertips is true. I feel like we're at a point we were at in the 80s and 90s where people are just furious about healthcare. Regardless of where they get their coverage, they just say premiums are too high, the deductible's too high, out of pocket's too high. These healthcare plans are worthless. They're basically they're for catastrophic, and you can see that in the reaction of the Republicans. Here's my question, Ashley, and it's kind of a two-parter, even though I keep violating my rule. I don't like two-part questions. There's what will they do and what should they do? Some of the Republicans I'm talking to say, we're going to try to get a bipartisan healthcare plan. And there are bipartisan talks going on bicamerally, House and Senate and across. Should they propose something around State of the Union before the midterms that try to build bipartisan support, or should they just do, and will they just do a Republican-only bill that is for messaging because it's not going to get 60 votes?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is it's a tough one for Republicans. When I was on the Hill, I think they voted 64 times to repeal ACA, but could never offer an alternative and get enough votes for an alternative. I mean, the reality is that healthcare is not an easy issue, and Republicans have demonstrated consistently that they can't successfully legislate, especially on things very complicated like healthcare tax cuts. Get it? That's easy. Give it to the rich. Let's move on, right? Maybe we give it in tips. That's a new thing. But for the most part, this is a tough issue. But I will say, here's what I was just on the phone with Chuck Schumer just yesterday, and I made this point to him. I said, the challenge right now is that the Republican message on Obamacare is actually crystallizing. I mean, if you go back and look at most recently, JD Vance, Speaker Johnson, all of them are saying the exact same thing. It's too expensive. It's not sustainable. If they said it was affordable, why isn't it affordable? I mean, all of these, their messaging is crystallizing. And we've never messaged from a defensive posture on ACA. I mean, we've never had to do that before. We've always been like, oh, no one, everyone should be covered, even if they have pre-existing conditions. I mean, that is a winning message. Now we're on our back foot, our heels on ACA, and I don't know that we can message our way out of that thing. The third thing I would say, though, I don't know that Republicans are sincere about passing a bill before the midterms. I think they're going to weaponize the issue of healthcare to their advantage going into the midterm elections. They're going to keep saying it's too expensive. It's too expensive because their base doesn't hold them accountable to passing a bill or not passing a bill. They never have. But and here's the other reason why I think that's going to work is because Republicans love to hate Obama, so it's like bring him back. So I think it's going to be ACA, Obamacare, and it's going to be crime going into the midterms.
Ashley, here's why I love this show and why I feel so privileged to be part of it. What you just said about healthcare is so much smarter and more comprehensive and so imbued with understanding of this than literally anything I've heard on cable, anything I've read. So I hope everybody listened, because she made about 15 points embedded in there that's just brilliant about where we are, and she did it from a partisan point of view, in the sense that she's arguing her point of view, but her analysis of where the Republicans are, I thought was brilliant. Kristin, hold on, because I want to ask you a question. But Ashley, I want to just ask you a follow-up about what you said about Obamacare. To me, you got the wing of the party that says didn't go far enough. The Sanders wing, we want single payer. And the reason it's not working, the reason it's not just is because we need single payer like every other industrialized democracy. And then you've got people in the party who know it's not working. It doesn't have cost controls because the cost controls that were in the bill have never been enforced. I made this point before. Gene Sperling and others in the White House, when they were passing it, said, we got to have this committee that's supposed to enforce how much things cost, because end-of-life care is taking up so much of it. They never did it. And they told me it wouldn't work without it, and it doesn't have it. So my point is, you got the people who want single payer, then you got the people who know it needs some overhaul, but they don't want to say overhaul because it'd be offensive to President Obama. And once you say it's got flaws, you're opening the door to saying the Republicans are right? It got flaws.
Absolutely.
So I'm just wondering if you agree with me that it's hard for the party to have an honest discussion about it for those two reasons.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. And I don't think we're going to have an honest discussion about it, even if we decide to do something in a bipartisan fashion or if we're pushing back. I mean, in this particular case, it's going to be our unity is our strength, and our unity is going to be behind protecting what's actually in place. If we can contain people like Bernie Sanders and sort of those constant outliers on healthcare. But I think that, again, in my conversation with Schumer, I think he sees this as a vulnerability, yet also an opportunity. And so I think what he's going to have to do and try to do is to keep the caucus together, focused behind supporting ACA as much as they can.
Yeah.
And
Kristin,
have side debates about what should be, right? Let's deal with what we have.
Yep. Kristin, I'm not a cynic. I assume the best of people. And yet it's hard to argue with Ashley's point. That your party really wants to fix healthcare because trying to fix it would inflame a lot of the base because fixing it's going to require some stuff that the base wouldn't like. And the policy people know that. I interviewed Tom Emmer, House Whip today, Majority Whip, and I was asking about healthcare, and I was saying, in the Emmer household, like, what do you think about your healthcare? And he said, "Oh, it's horrible. High deductibles, high copays." He's got the Congress plan. And then I was asking him about how does he want to fix it? And there's no passion in the voice of Republican leaders to say, this country's in crisis. This needs to be fixed. It's all Obamacare is horrible. This is all the Democrats' fault. So, Kristin, where do you think your party is on truly wanting to fix it to help the families of America, as opposed to trying to avoid inflaming the base and trying to just score political points by blaming the Obamacare?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of what we want anymore. It's the reality in which we find ourselves. So, we've talked a lot about how I think Democrats squandered their win at all from last Tuesday with how they handled resolving the shutdown. What they did succeed in is changing the narrative to healthcare. And so historically, education used to be an area where Republicans were weak. We took that back. I think it's probably, net 50-50 on which party's better on that. Healthcare, historically, polling wise, more people have trusted Democrats than Republicans. So we're entering in on a topic that, we just haven't won on or really dove into. And I hope that the party can recognize what's happening here is that healthcare is no longer, we're not in 2009, 2010, having a fight over single payer. If you like your plan, you can keep it, and talking about the website glitches. I mean, we all lived through that, and how, we fought those battles, the same thing in 2017 and 2018. We as a party need to understand this is now an economic fight. I mean, this is no longer an abstract policy thing. People are, if you do a poll and you say, what's your top economic issue? Healthcare is there in the top 3, top 4. It's no longer, it's cost of living, it's energy utilities, it's housing, and it's healthcare. The people are starting to lump in, and it's the first time I've really seen this really in the last, 15 years, where it's creeping into people's everyday lives in a way where it's becoming so unsustainable that people aren't able to make their rent because they have to go and, pay for, prescriptions or doctor's appointments. And then particularly when you see Gen Z or millennials, I don't even know which one, right, but the sandwich generation, people who are having kids and also caring for aging parents, right? We're all kind of in that. They also take the burden of healthcare for parents and for kids, not even for themselves, but they're helping with their parents' healthcare, their kids. And so what we really need to, it doesn't matter whether we want to dive in and fix it or not. We have to come together and figure out a solution, because you can't fix something with nothing. And so I've talked to a number of members. I know that there is a large appetite to come to the table to offer a positive solution. It's just, what is that, right? And because the problem is Obamacare hasn't worked in the way we thought it would. And I think some of these premiums, are, the fight over that, there is validity to saying it's not working how it should. How can we fix it? But it is also hard to take something away when someone has it. So unless we have a better option for it, we really, I hope that the party can come together and really think through, what kind of path we can offer, and recognize this for the issue that it is, not just a, 2010 argument that, Obamacare is bad, even though it does have issues and we should address that. We should also say, so here's a solution to, I don't know the answer to that. I'm not a policy person. I'm a political person. There are smarter people who will figure that out. But, we can't just resurrect ideas from the last decade. We really have to look forward and try to meet the moment. And there are some members that are doing it. And whether it's, extend the tax credits for a few months to make sure people are getting care while we figure that out, that's something we have to think through. But this isn't just a base, issue anymore. If we're going to win in these districts and in these states that are essentially, light red or purple, then we really need to change the way we think about the issue.
Yeah, I'll say, but go ahead, Ashley. Then go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what I'll find interesting if they rename it. I mean, that's what I'm putting crossing my fingers on is a renaming of the bill so that we can no longer weaponize it and we can really focus on the policy. To your point, I mean, so I just wanted to add.
Kristin, I'll say the same thing about what you said as I said about Ashley. Just brilliant, really well said, very balanced and clear thinking, and I just healthcare is so hard, and maybe this is the most obvious thing any of us could say. The president is going to have to take the lead. There's no way you're going to organize this, and he just doesn't talk much about healthcare in a way that you'd need to do to lead this. So I'm unfortunately not optimistic.
He doesn't like to get dirty in that way.
Yeah,
he's kind of above it all. He's flying around at his golf course.
It might be there are people who have been studying healthcare since the first Bush administration, right? That are so deep in knowledge. Like, get them all in a room and come up with some ideas and bring it and Like, I don't think the president needs to go out and be the first one to come up with an idea. There are people who've been studying this forever. Get creative, think outside the box. Don't just offer one thing that's been rejected. Offer a few things. And he's creative enough that he's the beauty of, like, the only person really I think that can change it is Trump, because he is not afraid to take on the fights that normal politicians are. There's a reason why Social Security and all these things don't get touched, because they're hard to fix. So it is going to take someone like Trump to break through glass to fix it. I just think that a lot of people have been doing this for a while. Let's get them a bunch of ideas and let them, see which one works.
Yeah. In theory, the White House is now working on it. And in theory, the House Republicans are, but we'll see. All right. Let me do what we call in the media business a reset and talk about what we're doing here, because we're almost halfway through this portion of the show. I'm tonight doing live from the New York showroom of Fairway and Green, our partners. 7 o'clock. Stay with us for an opportunity for you to do your Christmas shopping right now. Get all your holiday gifts bought, particularly if you need to buy a lot of stuff for your clients, your customers, your employees, or you got a big family. So stay with us for that. Be joined by a couple of the folks from Fairway and Green, and we'll run through that. As I said, there's a ton of news stories. So I'm going to run through some stuff a little faster, not as big, but important and interesting. Our guests will weigh in. And then to your question. So if you want to get in on the conversation with these two geniuses, Ashley and Kristin, please raise your hand. We'll get to you in just a bit. All right. Let's see. Number 11, Sam. We've been waiting for the losing side in some of these redistricting battles to go to the courts and see what the courts say. And I've been saying this is a sleeper issue. You shouldn't assume that these things are done until the third so-called alleged co-equal branch weighs in. So today, the Trump Justice Department, this is a headline from the Associated Press, sues to block California U.S. House map in clash that could tip control of Congress. They're going to court to say the redistricting was done improperly and that the old district should be back, which would take 5 plus 5 away. The California plus 5 is a lot safer to mean plus 5 than the Texas plus 5, which is dependent on Republicans getting Hispanic vote in 1 or 2 of the districts. So this is a big deal. Kristin, never predict judges, juries, or justices. But do you have a sense of this? Is this? Do they have a good case? Is this got a chance to overturn what was millions of dollars spent on this ballot measure, and then just poof, it could just go disappear?
I mean, I am not a total expert on the legalese of this, but I think it's tough. I mean, it was a pretty overwhelming vote. I mean, in this case, you kind of take every shot. So it's right to go and try to sue, and maybe you get a judge that sees the light. But I would not stop working trying to, get other states to match it. I wouldn't put all my hopes on this, court.
Yep. Ashley, California, and obviously, again, don't predict the courts, but is this, do you know what the history is of redistricting efforts passed by citizen and ballot measure being overturned?
Yeah, no, I don't know the history of it, but I mean, my understanding in talking to experts on redistricting, the outlier here is what the Supreme Court will do on VRA. I mean, that could really take all of these efforts and really transform how we approach this issue. But, can I just say one thing happened last week, and that was the official announcement of the retirement of my former boss, Speaker Pelosi. And I will say what's so brilliant about her is she's always 5 steps ahead. She brought, Eric Holder and Barack Obama to the table to focus on redistricting more than almost 10 years ago, anticipating that we would arrive at this point. And she was behind the big push behind Prop 50. But I think that, the caution within our party is that I don't see a situation where we can redistrict enough of our states to make up for what they could do in Florida, make up for what they could do, what they've already done in Texas and some of these other states. And it's also clear, too, if you look at places like Indiana and others, that Republicans are getting pushback from their own party, within their own party, about this entire redistricting effort. So I'm not sure where this whole thing ends, but there's so many outliers and so many factors to consider that it's hard to even say.
Yeah, and we don't know if the Supreme Court will rule in time to make the Voting Rights Act germane. And if they do, we don't know how they'll rule, but that would obviously be a large number of seats. All right, staying in California, Mr. Swalwell. Donald Trump does not detest Mr. Swalwell as much as he does Mr. Schiff, but it's close. Congressman Swalwell in the news twice tonight. First, 13, and this has been rumored, I believe, I may be mixing it up with Schiff, but Mr. Pulte, who runs the housing authority for the Trump administration, here's the headline from NBC News. Trump official refers Eric Swalwell for a federal criminal probe over alleged mortgage fraud. Another one of these cases where they're alleging mortgage fraud, as we saw with the Attorney General of New York and with Adam. Schiff hasn't been indicted yet.
But they accused him of it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but then the very same day, number 14, MSNBC says Swalwell eyes his next campaign to run for California governor. Katie Porter continues to be the front runner on paper. Other people have talked about the race, like the junior senator from California passed on the race. So Ashley, start with you because it's your party and state you know well. If Swalwell enters the race, does he become a top tier candidate right away? Can he raise the money? Has he got what it takes to shake the race up?
Well, listen, I will tell you, those two headlines are no coincidence. They're definitely related to each other. You're absolutely right about Trump and his efforts to really go after his political enemies. I mean, really, and it's so trite because it's the same issue. Like everybody's committing mortgage fraud. I mean, it's so so boring in that respect. But I will say that Swalwell, unlike Katie Porter, has a bigger profile nationally, has demonstrated ability to raise a substantial amount of money nationally, not just out of California. I think that works to his advantage. I also think that he's probably got better relationships within in California in the Democratic ecosystem there. I know my former boss is a major fan of his, has always promoted him. He sort of calls her his second or third mother or grandmother, whatever he calls her. And so I know they're really tight and she's got outside influence in California, as you know. So I think this is going to be an interesting race. And in fact, I'm excited about it. We need to have more competitive primary races within the Democratic Party. So, so this is one I'll be watching. But the fact that DOJ and the Trump administration is coming after him is actually no coincidence.
Would Swalwell be a good low dollar fundraiser, a good bundler, a good super PAC fundraiser, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Katie Porter had these issues with the CBS interview that sort of exposed her as a bit of a sourpuss mean girl, kind of, always edgy. But I do think that, Swalwell has just a different profile. I think he's got an ability to relate to people. He's so warm in person. I just think that he's going to have an ability to raise big and small dollars.
Kristin, I'm surprised you didn't even crack a smile at sourpuss mean girl. That's a good one.
I thought it was a nice way to describe it.
Yeah. Kristin, when you think about formidable Democratic candidates, not just for governor of California, but just like a great political athlete, does Swalwell seem like a formidable to you?
No, I kind of put him in the clown car. I mean, that guy, we're talking about Fang and so many other things that he has issues with. I don't think most Republicans take him very seriously. Just like I don't think most Republicans are really going to, focus too much on who the Democrat nominee for governor in California is, unless maybe it's Harris. I think that could probably get some attention. But no, I just don't take him seriously. No offense. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think those are fair criticisms of him. I mean, I think my question for him is what is his relationship like with the business community in California?
Yeah.
I think that's going to make the biggest difference.
Totally
Whether or not he's going to make inroads there, that's going to be because otherwise they're all just sort of Democratic political operatives, right? With title. But the question is whether or not he can make inroads with the business community. I'm hearing that there's a lot of frustration within the state among Democrats with how the state's been managed by Gavin Newsom. So I think he's going to have to pull from the center and, as much as he can and try to develop those relationships with the business community.
Totally agree. Speaker Pelosi has some proteges in the party who are superstars. And some less so. That's what I'll say. All right, here I go. I'm going to run through.
I would say two of them won on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I know. She's got some big stars. All right, here's some things I'll run through. You ladies jump in and just kibitz if you want to comment. Number 15, BBC apologizes to Trump, but won't pay him. This is that's from the BBC, which is covering its own problems. BBC apologizes to Trump over Panorama edit, but refuses to pay compensation. Panorama is the outside company that made the documentary that spliced Trump together. We'll see if the president's satisfied with words and not bucks. continues to be reporting this from ABC News number 16 that the president's thinking about some sort of military action against Venezuela. President Trump briefed on updated military options in Venezuela. Sources say the briefing itself wasn't an indication an attack is imminent. And in my world, people are saying he's trying to rattle the saber and try to force change in Venezuela without an actual attack. This is a big media story, but has political implications. Number 17, Warner Brothers Discovery was kind of split off their company with the production side and the cable side. And of course, Paramount CBS wants to buy it. But now, according to the Wall Street Journal and their exclusive report, Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix are all preparing bids for Warner as deadline approaches. Paramount wants the whole thing. Comcast and Netflix are more interested in the production side and the streamers, less in the cable side. And it says in the subhead that Warner Brothers hopes to have this auction process done by the end of the year. This one's got a lot of twists and turns coming as these companies jockey for that asset. All right. Speaking of proteges of Speaker Pelosi, kind of, Rahm Emanuel, whose relationship with the Speaker should be the subject either of a 500-word New Yorker piece or perhaps a play on Broadway, because they're very complicated. Ashley, you know the three most complicated relationships are landlord-tenant, mother-daughter, and Rahm and Nancy. Here's something Rahm tweeted out today, number 18. Man, their relationship's complicated. It's so complicated. Number 18, this is Rahm tweeted this out. And there continues to be debate in elite Democratic circles. Is Rahm a real strong candidate for president or not? I don't even know. Where is Rahm in that picture? It's one of those people, Rahm Emanuel?
Yeah,
I don't know. Oh, in the back. There he is. All right. So Rahm, this is him mentoring inspiring young black men. Rahm Emanuel, there. All right, here's a bunch of photos. So let me just get your temperature, because I don't know that I've asked you guys about this. Kristin, if the categories are first tier, Gavin Newsom, and maybe some people put AOC or Shapiro in there, and fifth tier is Senator Murphy. That's where I put him. Where is Rahm? What tier is Rahm in as a presidential candidate this cycle?
I just don't see it. I have a lot of respect for him as an operator. I think that whoever is in tier one should hire him, get him on. It's hard.
All right. So is he second or third tier?
To third.
Third. Yeah. Ashley.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that's absolutely right. I mean, I think he was kicked out and run out of Chicago. I mean, if you can't, run Chicago, it's hard to see you, positioned to manage the entire country in the world, for that matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think he is an excellent operative and strategist and tactician more than anything else. And he's got an incredible reputation for that. I think he needs to figure out that's what the party's lacking. In fact, a Rahm Emanuel. I mean, that's I would love for him to come back and do his old job, because there is no vision right now. There is no one that's has their sights on that middle, moving the party towards the middle, winning at all costs, like that sort of an attitude that he brought to that job. That's what we're lacking. So I would really love for him to come back and be an operative within the party.
So maybe no one wants to piss off Rahm, so you don't want to answer. But what's he lacking? Is it because he's short? Is it because his temperament's bad? Is it his Chicago record and the base doesn't like him? Why are you ladies so down on him?
There's that Saturday Night Live skit where they did Rahm Emanuel yelling at Sarah Palin, and it's the funniest thing if you haven't seen it. I just think that he's had such a public facing position as a staffer and a person behind. Like, it's hard to make that jump. Few people can make that jump from chief of staff to president, and it's because they require different things. And I think he has good ideas for the party. For he helps. I think he'd be great to keep some of the AOC wing in line, yeah. I think, but the America kind of knows him as Obama's chief of staff. I mean, I know he's done other things.
They even know him. I don't know that they really know him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why operatives, that's why I have a hard time seeing him as president.
Ashley, if he called you, I'm sorry to interrupt. Ashley, if he called you and he said, I'm running, Ashley, I'm running, I just want your two best pieces of advice to help me win the nomination, what would those two pieces of advice be?
He's got to figure out what distinguishes him in the field. I still can't see that right now.
Isn't he the only one who's tepidly, quietly, tentatively saying to the base, we can't be woke and win? Isn't he the only one doing that?
No, well, I mean, he is, but I think the way that Gavin is positioning woke is really much smarter, right? And
Yeah.
so, I think, woke has been co-opted by the Republican Party and redefined. So, I think what he's trying to really say is we need to move a little more center, which I don't
Yeah.
disagree with. But the term woke is really coded for a lot of other things,
Yeah.
and Gavin Newsom smartly has pointed that out, which I think generates a level of excitement among base vote voters to say, listen, they've made woke anti-black or anti-brown or anti-trans or
Yeah.
anti, all of those things. And that actually works. But again, I would start with saying, like, what really actually does distinguish you in this field? Like, in what record are you standing on? Like, what are your proof
Right.
points that you should be the president versus any of these other guys? And then I
Yeah.
would say third to that, there are just some people who have it. I mean, I'm a Texan, and when I met George W. Bush, I knew he had it. Like, he just got something on it. When I met Barack Obama when he was running for Senate, I was like, this guy has got it. I don't know where he's going, but he's going really far fast,
Yeah.
And so you kind of know, me, I've been in the rooms and staffed and advised to presidents. You kind of know the ones who have it and the ones who don't have it, and I don't
Yeah.
really see that he has it. And
Yeah.
he's actually not picking up any level of momentum
Yeah.
around this idea that he could run. I mean, where Gavin is really, I mean, he's getting his sea legs underneath him.
Yeah. Okay. Great answer. Really great answer. All right. Quick word from a sponsor, then to your questions. Please raise your hand if you want to get in the conversation. And a reminder, stay with us into the 7 o'clock Eastern time hour, live here from the Fairway and Green showroom. We'll be taking you inside a great American company that produces fantastic stuff and getting your Christmas shopping done, holiday shopping all together here. Fairway and Green, nice enough to host us. All right, Cozy Earth products. They're having a crazy sale now, 40% off Cozy Earth, the bubble cuddle blanket, the sheets, the towels. I've had my towels now for over a week, and they're a revelation and a revolution, both. And of course, the bubble cuddle blanket, luxury, combination of comfort and style. Right now, you can get 40% off everything on the site. Black Friday, come early. This won't last, so go to cozyearth.com. Use the promo code two-way for 40% off. Wrap the ones you love in luxury with Cozy Earth. And always have to plug the pants because every time I put the pants on, I'm reminded they're really the only pair of pants I'd like to wear. So please do yourself a favor. Go to cozyearth.com. Promo code two-way for an extraordinary 40% off. The sale will not last forever. Cozyearth.com, promo code two-way. All right, here we go for your questions for Ashley and Kristin. And again, if you hired these ladies to consult with and be able to ask them questions, it would cost you thousands and thousands. Here on two-way,
This is
gratis,
just the
free.
free. There's so
Yeah,
much more.
exactly. So much more. Just get a sense of what
But
you
it will,
could ask.
right, Kristen? Like,
Yes, exactly.
This is the free
Ron,
people. Yeah.
Ron, welcome in. Tell for folks who don't know where you are, what's on your mind for our two great guests.
I'm in Destin, Florida, and I'd like to get back to the healthcare because I'm one of those people that be stuck in a room. I'm a healthcare actuary. I've with PricewaterhouseCoopers, I was a partner, ran our healthcare practice there. I won't get into all my credentials. Somebody can Google me if they want, but I'm confident enough to tell you when I was a partner, I engaged Newt Gingrich for 10 years, put him up in offices in Atlanta and in Washington. I was a senior fellow when I retired at his Center for Health Transformation. I took and created a health reimbursement arrangements with Mark McClellan, Dr. Mark McClellan in the White House back in 2001, 2002, and also worked with Newt and I think it was Bill Thomas, head of Ways and Means in 2003 to put in health savings accounts. What I want to put up, and I'll give you a solution later, but take too long to get into all the details of the healthcare industrial complex ecosystem. But basically, I'll say that we don't have a healthcare problem in the United States, and I'll prove it pretty quickly here. We have a health insurance problem. Yeah. And about half the country has got their insurance not under Obamacare, but under a loophole in Obamacare called self-insurance. So when I'm a large employer, I'm able to put together a self-insured program where my employees are the group, the pool that I work on. Now, to show that large employers, while they're concerned about costs, don't really have a cost problem with healthcare, is they not only provide health and health care costs for their employees subsidized substantially, but they also offer dental and vision, legal, pet care, and other services to their employees. Even daycare services for consultants that go out into the country and have to take their child or whatever. So they're paying for healthcare plus much more. What we have is a health insurance system problem with Obamacare. And I've actually put together an entire book well, let me back up for 1 second. I also worked in 2008 with Speaker Paul Ryan to put together a healthcare program that's consumer oriented, that's free market oriented, that has expanded health savings accounts and all that sorts of stuff. But the problem is
Rod, let me stop you just because I want to make sure we get the ladies a chance to respond. Everything you said is really accurate and really important and very impressive credentials. Do you want to ask a question, or do you want to make one more point and then let them respond?
Well, I want to see if they understand that it's not about the cost of health care.
Yeah.
Health care, but that it's more about insurance. And I can give you a link. I'm not trying to sell books or anything else.
Go ahead and put the link in the chat if you would.
Pardon?
Do you know how to put a link in the chat?
Yes, I've done that before. I've been trying to get on for a long time. It's really TrumpCare.com will give you a full book on how all this works and how you move from where we are today to a free market system.
Yeah. Okay, Ron, thank you. Let's let the ladies respond. Kristin, the president's talked about trying to take on the insurance companies, and the Affordable Care Act certainly did to some extent. Labor unions did not want to tax the Cadillac plans provided by businesses, and that's just it's a distortion in the system. There's no doubt. But what about the role of insurance and the crisis in insurance, Kristin?
Yeah, well, no, thank you for that, Ron. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And I remember even when Obamacare was passing, going to PricewaterhouseCoopers looking for the information. So don't doubt that you're one of the experts here. I think the insurance companies, for sure, I mean, that would be right in line with the populist theme that you see Trump has ran on and what Bernie's in and all that. The one thing I would caution on is the average American, when they say healthcare, they mean all the above, right? So we just need to be careful that when we're talking here, it's 100%. We need to focus on insurance versus healthcare. But the average person, like when they can't go to a certain doctor or get a procedure done because their insurance doesn't cover it, they're not necessarily thinking of the insurance. They're just thinking, why in America can I not get this procedure done? So we need to, I think that in the past, Republicans have made some of that mistake because we talked in figures and charts and less human. And we just need to keep that in mind. I think Trump is probably the pro at this and speaking in those human terms to very clearly say, it's the insurance company's fault. I'm going to stand between you and them and fix it. I mean, that I think would win all day long, that message, and would be, to your point, Ron, more factual. But I would just say, agree with what you're saying. The argument as a whole is so personal and so emotional, and it causes so much stress and anxiety for people that they sometimes can't and don't care about the nuance.
Ashley.
Yeah, no, I think, Ron, appreciate all of your efforts to really try to move the debate forward and get us a solid piece of legislation, and I hope you continue in the fight too. I think, with any sort of a bill, especially one that's going to be bipartisan, you got to find a boogeyman. There's got to be somebody other than the two political sides that's at fault for this in order for it to move forward. And I think the insurance companies could be that. I mean, the challenge, though, is they write big checks. They write big checks to a whole lot of folks in those buildings. And so I think that's what's going to actually complicate it. But if the president is already there, and I'm Democrats, like, why wouldn't I jump on that bandwagon? No disagreements here. Let's move down this path together to figure out how we actually, start with the insurance companies to fix aspects of our healthcare system. So I don't disagree. I think that is probably, hopefully, we'll see whether or not the insurance company is a rallying cry for both parties to fix this thing.
Yeah, really well said. Ron, thank you. Grateful to you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get Doug in real quick. Doug, welcome in. Again, raise your hand if you want in on the conversation. Doug, unmute, tell folks who don't know where you are, and question for Ashley and Kristin.
Yeah, well, you probably didn't know this, Mark, but this is the first time on we've called on two actuaries in a row. I'm a pension actuary. I'm actually a retired Deloitte partner. I spent my career working on retirement plans. So there are only like 30,000 actuaries in the US. So this is going to be a two-way first. Anyway, my question is, we've got some major problems. Healthcare is one, Social Security is another, immigration perhaps I wouldn't put that in the same category. They require only a bipartisan solution. There's no way one party is going to fix healthcare. There's no way one party is going to fix Social Security. Is there any chance whatsoever that President Trump, in his last 2 years of term, would say, look, I want to be remembered as being a great president, not as the person who went after my enemies, but a person who solved problems? Could he put together a bipartisan commission to solve these problems for the long term? Is there any chance whatsoever that that could ever happen?
Kristin?
A commission? I mean, I don't know. I think there would be enough Democrats that would actually join it. I think like Fetterman comes to mind. I think a few others. I get the sense just watching, as the first year comes to a close, my guess would be he's going to be more direct action oriented and less, get in the room. He's going to want to move fast. So sometimes commissions don't move too fast. That would be the one thing I think that would hold it up.
Yeah, Ashley.
I think that's an excellent point about commissions don't move fast, and you kind of got to move fast on this issue. But if you're not serious about solving the problem, this is a good way to go. I mean, because it feels like some level of action, but you're not really doing anything about it. But I would also say, though, I think that Trump's in a really peculiar place where he's got to start delivering for the American people in a way that they can actually feel it and experience it, right? I mean, you've got a situation where, again, despite what JD Vance is saying, costs are going up. They're not going down. They're going up even from when from when Biden was the president. I just spent $6 on a quart of milk. I mean, just 1 quart of milk is $6. Is unbelievable. So I say all that to say that he's going to have to start.
What was it? Unicorn milk?
Was it soy milk?
Just regular cow milk?
I wish it was just whole milk. I mean,
okay.
My kid
Sorry,
likes
go ahead.
cereal. I'm like, we're going to have to give up the cereal. Like, let's be clear, because this milk is too expensive.
Yeah.
And cereal is even more expensive. It's $6 for a small box of cereal. It's insane. So nevertheless, I say all that to say that he's going to have to start delivering in ways that are going to show up in people's pocketbooks and in their bank accounts. And so that's why he's saying, listen, don't send the money to the insurance companies. Give it right to the American people. The $2,000, he just said that recently. I mean, because he understands that at some point, I've got to show some tangible results that people can feel in their everyday lives. So I think a commission doesn't do that. But if you're not serious about the issue, it's a great solution.
But it just seems like one way of creating a lasting legacy would be to have a long-term fix for these problems. That was my point.
Yeah, I don't think you'll do a commission, but I'll tell you, if the following factors exist after the midterms, I'm one of the few people think it's possible. Number one, Democrats take control of the House. Number two, Scott Bessent is still in Treasury. Number three, the economy's good enough that you can afford to do it. And number four, the president listens to people like Bill Cassidy, who have come together with serious plans for deficit reduction to save Social Security, not destroy it, but to make it available to future generations by making actuarial changes that allow the program to survive and to hold current retirees and people near retirement whole. And I do think the president might do that, but it's going to take a big confluence, probably greater than even what I listed. Doug, thank you. Quick word from one more sponsor, and then Mallory's here, and then we'll get to Mallory. This is a word from our friends at CB Distillery. Nights when you can't sleep or when you're sore from working out, you're dragging the next day, exhausted, everything feels a little bit harder. That's where the products of CB Distillery can make a real difference. They can help you sleep. Over 2 million people have used the products of CB Distillery, and they trust them. They're clean ingredients, no fillers, just premium CBD. Right now, an opportunity to try something that could allow you to sleep better, feel less stress, feeling good in your own skin again with the products from CB Distillery. 25% off being offered to members of the two-way community. 25%. Go to cbdistillery.com. Use the promo code two-way for 25% off. Again, cbdistillery.com, promo code two-way. I'll say it one more time. More than 2 million people have tried it. You should too. cbdistillery.com, the promo code two-way for 25% off your order. Mallory, welcome and thank you for being part of Two-Way. Tell folks who don't know where you are, what's on your mind for Kristin and for Ashley.
Hi, I'm Mallory. I'm calling in from South Carolina this evening. I had some technical questions because I feel like y'all just will know better than I will on this. And then also, I wanted to hear their perspective on the political implications of the fallout of this. I've been reading specifically about the discharge petition that the Democrats were just able to get their 218th signature. And I was wondering, because I had read that Burchett had tried to bring in a motion of unanimous consent to pass 40 or to bring a vote on 4055, but Democrats supposedly like pushed it down because I think they just wanted to go with the discharge position. So I was trying to understand what the benefit of that is. Is it just that they want people on record of how they voted on the issue, or they just wanted to stay on their course and not want to have House leadership get involved? I just was curious about that. And then also just the political fallout. Like, we're hearing that Lauren Boebert was called into the Situation Room. I heard Nancy Mace was called in, both of which did not take their signatures off of the discharge petition, and just how we think this is going to play moving forward. Because I was reading, and granted, this was from the New York Times, but there was a great article that kind of just explains the discharge petition, why I keep saying position, and how bills move through the House. And they're thinking they're going to pick up a lot more Republicans when it does come to vote. So I just thought that was an interesting.
Those all really good questions, Valerie. We'll go to our House expert. Kristin's more from the House of Lords. Ashley, closer to the people. Ashley, can you respond to what Mallory asked? That'd be great.
So couple interesting things here. I don't want to get too political on this one. If I were to get political, the answer would be, what are they hiding? Why is the president, sort of employing this pressure campaign against Republicans that have signed the discharge petition, especially if he's not named in it, and in any sort of fashion. But nevertheless, that aside, I mean, the interesting thing about a discharge petition is, if you sign it, that doesn't mean you have to actually vote for it when it comes to the floor, right? It just brings the bill to the floor. There's no guarantee that all of those people that sign the discharge petition will actually vote for it. And then, of course, it has to go to the Senate, then it has to go to the president. I mean, so the reality is, like, I don't imagine that, Trump gives himself up and signs it, right, to release the document. But the interesting thing, though, is how the White House now is trying to blame Democrats for this, when the reality is the whole Epstein file release of files bubbled up from the MAGA base. I mean, this was something that they asked for. I mean, Biden had the ability to do this, but could care less. I mean, he was, working on big things like infrastructure, guns, passing all of those bills. And so, so this is really initiated by the Republicans to a degree. And then we sort of just picked it up and said, well, you're right. What's in them? Like, let's release the documents. So I want to always caution sort of, the sort of salivation that I'm seeing from Democrats about the Epstein files, because it still has to go through a process. And just because you sign a discharge petition doesn't mean you're going to support the bill. But I will say, from a strategic standpoint, what Democrats have to do is to really take the Epstein issue and make it ladder up to a larger narrative about the corruption that we're seeing coming out of the White House, about the actual cover up, less about Epstein as a one-off, but really part of a larger effort on the part of the president to corrupt all of these systems. Yeah. And so Mr.
Jeffries has done exactly that a fair amount. Kristin, I want to ask you about something related that came up on the morning meeting, which is if it passes, and people expect that it will, and maybe with a lot of Republican votes, even the Mallory's right, just because you signed the petition doesn't mean you have to vote for it, but I think it's going to be the opposite. Will John Thune feel compelled to take this up? The discharge petition doesn't have any power over him. Will he put that bill on the floor?
I think they have bigger things they have to worry about. I don't know is the answer. I do think this is becoming a larger distraction than people, probably want to admit. I don't think the average person out in Green Bay, Wisconsin, wakes up and goes to the diner and says, "Did you hear about the Epstein files?" Maybe some of them. But I do, every day that we are tweeting or talking or responding about the Epstein files, we are not talking about the cost of living and healthcare and everything else that is actually going to win us the midterms. So I kind of hope he does. Like, just get it done. Eat the whole sandwich. Let's just put it out there. I mean, I think you do it. You get it off the table so people stop talking about it. I mean, I think at this point, if there's anything bad in there, it would be out, right? I mean, I don't think it's that.
Right. Can I add on to what you just said, Kristin? The reality is the more that everyone's talking about the Epstein file, Democrats included, the less time we're spending on, indicting the president over the economy. I mean, there's always a cost an opportunity cost to sort of messaging, especially when you become laser focused on one particular issue. And if you can't effectively make it ladder up to a larger framework, then you're missing opportunities to really focus on the things that people are concerned about, what we saw on Tuesday.
Well, it's Democrats are at risk, that they are at risk of what they did in 2024, where they focus on a niche issue, a culture issue, instead of the economy. And so if Democrats go all in on this and they want to spend the next 6 months talking about the Epstein files, they're not talking about the economy. They're not talking about healthcare.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
They care more about the Epstein files than
Mallory, did you want to say or ask one more thing before we go?
There was just one thing. How is the House committee releasing, like they released 20,000 pages? How are they releasing parts of it? Do they not have it all? Or how are we releasing some parts, but yet we're still trying to pass legislation to release? Is it because DOJ's got the rest of it, or the FBI?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, but also too, I've worked on the oversight committee. It's also the discretion of the chair and the majority what they decide to release. They can say, I only, like Democrats only released a set of emails, and then the Republicans, they dropped a whole treasure trove of documents. It's really up to the committee that actually owns the documents, has the documents in their hand, to determine what they want to release. I've been a part of every major investigation from Benghazi to Fast and Furious, and there was always fights about what documents to release, and sort of making sure that the documents that are released are telling the totality of the story. So it's really the prerogative of the chairman and the majority party.
So they could release all of it and we could just be done.
Of what they have, but they don't have everything from justice, I don't believe.
Okay.
Mallory, thank you. Very grateful to you. Ladies, before you go, Kristin works at Axiom Strategies. What do you and Jeff Rowe get for your several hundred colleagues for the holidays? You buy them all fancy presents?
No, I think we typically, I like to get my colleagues lottery tickets, right? Scratch offs.
Lottery tickets, yeah.
I like to do that. I think
All right. Well, you may have another option just in a moment. Ashley, do you think in a job like yours, you've got all these clients, do you get them holiday gifts, or do they get you holiday gifts, or both or neither?
Listen, I'm going to stay on message. The economy's way too damn bad. I can't afford anything.
but do your clients buy you holiday presents?
They don't. I actually give my clients holiday gifts.
All right.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, ladies, you're welcome to stay as we move to our next phase of the program tonight here at Fairway and Green. If you want to have an opportunity to buy some pretty nice gifts for your folks, you're welcome to stay. But whether you stay or not, extremely grateful to you for spending the last hour with us and answering questions with all that expertise. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we move to our next phase with Kristin. And thanks to Kristin and Ashley. And as I said, I'm here at Fairway and Green. There are partners, and they make beautiful, beautiful stuff. So we're going to spend some time talking about what they do here with two of the leaders of this company, Jack Lessing, the president of Summit Golf Brands, which is the parent of Fairway and Green, and Bill Draddy, who's the creative director and a genius at design. And has his own brand, one of the brands, the subsidiary brands. So they'll be here in just a second. The way this is going to work is we're going to give you all an opportunity to learn about this great American company, and then an opportunity to ask questions about the products. But really, most of all, you're welcome. Buy your Christmas presents tonight. We'll hook you up with the company. They'll make it very easy. Say, I want to buy 40 shirts. I need these sizes. They'll offer you some options. We'll look at some of the best-selling items they have here tonight. But it's a great opportunity to get your Christmas shopping done because clock is ticking, and you cannot do any better than the products here at Summit Golf Brands. It is a company known, well-deserved for craftsmanship. And if you've seen any of your colleagues from the community come on wearing the clothes, you know just how satisfied they are as customers. Let's look at some of your colleagues who've come on and their testimonials about the products.
Showing off my two-way.
So, Governor, we have a sponsor called Fairway and Green, makes golf apparel.
I know who Fairway and Green.
Okay.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Very comfortable. It's the most
And
comfortable.
I'm going to play golf really well when I'm wearing it too.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal.
I'm wearing a Fairway and Green too tonight, so I got the whole thing going. And I will tell you, you are right. I am a 14.5 handicap golfer. I am 5 strokes better since I wear this. I sleep in it at night. I look taller and thinner, like I've been working out.
What's on your sleeve? What does it say on the sleeve?
Don't put
Don't
smack,
put smack in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on this
Other
yeah.
side. No, it's on the other side. And just to be clear, are you really a golfer? Because I know some of the stuff you said was
No,
just
no,
a
no.
joke.
I do golf.
You do golf. And how comfortable is the fairway and green stuff compared to other golf apparel?
No, Sean said it this morning. It is. I hate to overuse it. It's luxurious. It is.
Yeah.
I own a lot of golf stuff. This is the best made stuff. I would pay 20% more for it.
Yeah.
Because it's that good.
It's just so well made. Just like when you pick it up, not just soft and comfortable, but you just can feel it's like a work of art.
Oh, it's quality.
Right?
Yeah. So when you put it on, so I'm 6'7", and so I get the extra large. Most things don't fit off the rack.
Yeah.
It fits beautifully. No kidding. It is the most quality golf apparel I've ever bought, and I never heard them before until you guys came up.
And what you're wearing, Jack?
Oh, my wife ordered this when we were up in Maine and couldn't wait to get back to San Antonio. Best polo I've ever owned.
Tell us why, Jack. Why is it the best polo you've ever owned?
I hate to just repeat everything you always hear every day, but it's soft, it's comfortable. You literally could sleep in it.
Have you?
It's a wonderful shirt.
All right, folks. With us now, Billy Dratty, who head creative director for Summit Golf Brands, and the leader, the spiritual, physical, fiduciary leader, Jack Lessing, president of Summit Golf Brands. Gentlemen, so honored to have you here, and thank you for hosting me in the showroom.
Great to be here, Mark.
So again, if you want to buy for your customers, your clients, or your employees, or your family, if you want to buy them two-way merch, you can. They'll make that for you. They'll also put your corporate logo right here. They'll put whatever you want in the sleeve. It's all embroidered. I believe it's all done, or at least a lot of it's done in Wisconsin, right here in America. And you can just get the plain stuff. And if you want to browse through the website now, you can go to the website, Fairway and Green. But we're going to run through some stuff, and we'll first talk about the company, then we'll talk about product. Now, here's how you win one of the three $250 gift certificates. All you need to do, if you're here on the platform, raise your hand, raise your electronic hand. We'll note whose hands are up. If you've got your hand up during the show, 3 of you will be selected at random by the end of the show to win a gift certificate. Be ready to be called on, but just put your hand up and you're eligible to win. That's all it takes. There you go. All right, gentlemen, this company, we heard one guy say, never heard of the company before. I'd never heard of the company till Jack reached out, and now I see it some places, but I also see what I'll call inferior products, also premium products, just not as nice. So Jack, tell us about the history of the company and how it is that the stuff is so well made. It's well designed because of Billy, we know that, but how do you manufacture stuff that's of such superior quality to what you'd find in most pro shops who aren't carrying your stuff?
Thank you, Mark. Big fan of yours and what you built at 2A. So very proud to align our brands with yours.
Thank you.
Fairway and Green is one of the longest standing golf apparel brands in the industry, founded in 1995, and has really stood for classic, traditional men's and ladies golf lifestyle apparel. And we always try to take the highest quality products and not sacrifice in terms of making sure that the customer gets what they expect when they order Fairway and Green. So we're New York City based here. We're live from New York with you here, Mark. We actually are one of the only companies that are manufacturing a large portion of their products in America. And we decorate all of our products from around the globe. As you mentioned, we have a 60,000 square foot facility in Wisconsin where we receive and decorate the product and ship them to our wholesale customers and end consumers like this great group on a daily basis.
Great. Billy, you and I talked a little bit, or as we say in Arkansas, we visited a little bit before about your career. Your family was in the manufacturing of apparel. Just talk about how you approach design. And again, you want it to look great, but also to just wear well as when you slip it on. So how do you do that? What are the tricks for that?
Well, designing for, multiple different types of customers, kind of like being a character actor, where you kind of have to put your feet in their shoes. And, I've always said about Fairway and Green, if it was a car, it would be a Mercedes. If it was a suit, it'd be a Brooks Brothers. If it was a watch, it would be a Rolex. It's extremely high quality, traditional, and not over designed. It's designed to function and designed to look good. And I always say the guy that wears Fairway Green is more looking to fit in than stand out. And so with all those things, that's kind of how I approach it and who the guy I'm trying to design for.
Okay. Again, folks, you're going to have an opportunity to learn how you can order stuff. Maybe you want 5 pieces, maybe you want 50, but they'll work with you, get you a great price depending on how many you buy, and they'll work with you to figure out what the right things. And again, if you want to get customized with your logo, they'll make that happen for you. Christmas is a month and a half away. And if you order in the next couple weeks, they'll be able to turn it around to you. Even for a larger order, the longer you wait, the harder the turn would be. But opportunity coming up for you to learn how to do that. So, Billy, people see this stuff every day because Sean, Dan, and I wear it, and I'm wearing it now, and you guys are too. But let's show them some stuff and just talk about the pieces and why they do so well. And I'm hoping I got the right order here. The Caves quarter zip.
Right. Yeah. So the Caves quarter zip, I'm wearing it personally. This is the best-selling layer in golf. And the reason for that is that it's got an incredible fabric. So the fabric is what they call a spacer knit, which is it's a double knit, and they actually knit air space in between the 2 layers. And what that means is that
Billy, hold it up just a little higher if you would. There you go.
It has great body without having a lot of weight. I've never seen a piece where every type of body type looks great in it. So it's also something that you can wear, to the office, but you can also wear it to the gym. It's made of this great performance fabric, and so it's very, very versatile. We do it here in a long sleeve. We also do it in a vest. We have it open bottom, closed bottom. So like I said, it's the best-selling layering piece in golf. And the real reason is how comfortable it is and how it looks great on everybody.
Yeah, and Billy Crystal on Saturday Night Live said it's better to look good than to feel good. That item, you look great, and everybody looks great in it. It's like a magic cloak, but it also feels great to have it on. All right,
yeah. And the women's version of it's right here. This is the Wells. So again, also for women, great detailing to this. You've got the zipper there. You've got great movement in the back, and you'll see here it's a little easier. The smaller garment, you can see how much it stretches. So this is again incredibly comfortable. Looks good on all body types. That's the Wells.
Yep. And don't put that away yet, because I wanted to ask you one thing about that piece.
Okay.
It allows you to have the extra piece of chocolate cake in the clubhouse too, because it'll stretch right
yes.
Yes. One of the things about your clothes that we haven't talked about enough explicitly is the colors. The colors are fantastic, and you guys give them cute names that don't exist in nature. But I don't read the chat, but I glance at it. Someone put in the chat about, can you grab that piece back, Billy?
Yes.
The woman's. What color is that?
That's black.
Just black, just everyday black. All right, just the choices of your colors are so rich. It's so vibrant. Even the black just pops off. And Jack, do you know what color you're wearing there?
Light charcoal.
Light charcoal. Just the colors are beautiful. That's part of what makes them works of art in my mind. Let's talk about the Merino quarter zip wind sweater. A lot of your pieces combine like a typical golf fabric with the sweater material, the wool, and they're so comfortable, they're so warm, they're so well designed. You're not wearing like a tight wool thing. It's nice and breathable. Show them that and tell everybody about that.
So you're wearing the vest right there.
Yes,
you are modeling the vest. I've got the long sleeve right here. So this is made from Italian merino. Okay, this is the best merino wool that you'll find in the world. It's extremely resilient. It doesn't pill at all. You can have it for 10 years. It won't start pilling on you. And the great thing about this is that it's got this windproof liner in it. Okay. And for golfers, the key feature of this liner is that it's extremely quiet. When you're golfing, you don't want, things to be really noisy. So to have a lining that is so quiet while you're swinging, for the people that are non-golfers, it makes it really easy getting on and off in the office. That liner.
Incredible if you're golfing, but also your middle layer if you're going to a football game this fall.
Yes.
Over a t-shirt or whatever it is, or long sleeve. But between that and your coat, that thing is just magic. Just keeps you so warm and comfortable.
And we sell as many of these in Florida as we do up here in the north, because this is outerwear in Florida. It blocks the wind. The merino is extremely breathable, and it's even naturally water resistant. Everyone talks about sustainability these days. Italian merino is as sustainable as you can get.
Yeah, and of course the people in Florida are freaks. If it's 50 degrees, they're putting that thing on and shivering. Yeah. Lastly, it's the polos, and again, the polos are just. I try not to mention Brand X, but there's another brand that makes golf apparel, and I had a bunch of their golf shirts, and I used to think, oh, these are so comfortable. They're like Banana Republic. Your polos are works of art, and just show us one and tell us how you design these to make them so special.
Yeah, so this for people that are now wearing golf shirts to the office, this is a great piece. Golf clothing has really become the standard for what is acceptable in an office environment. So this has a dress shirt type collar, a slight cutaway to it. You've got great stability in it. We put our shaper wire in it to keep it nice and firm, and together sits above the collar of your sweater. And here we've just got a nice simple stripe here with the contrast placket there, just as a nice little attention to detail. Smoke colored mother of pearl buttons. And this has just been an absolute home run for us.
Yeah. Let me say two things. Keep holding it up for 1 second, if you would. You see our logo there, the two-way logo, just looks beautiful on the shirt. Imagine your company logo right there. They do a great job of reproducing it and putting it on there. But the other thing I want to say about that is, if you want to buy presents tonight for golfers in your life, of course, this is golf apparel. But in the post-COVID age, when there's not a meeting I need to go to where I need to wear a tie, you can wear these polos to any meeting. They're just beautiful. They're formal. They're golf shirts, but they look formal. You put them on with a nice pair of pants and dress shoes. No one's going to look at you and say, "Why is that guy wearing a golf shirt to a meeting?" They're going to say, "That's a beautiful shirt." Billy, thank you for that. All right.
So along those lines, let me just make a point to what you just
sir.
said, that this Caves quarter zip that I talked about and the Wells and women, you walk into the hospital for special surgery, they're not wearing, surgeon's clothing anymore. They're all wearing our Caves quarter zip and our ladies Wells quarter zip. So if you have to outfit or uniform your staff or the people that you work with, it really is a great option.
Yep. All right. Now we're going to get to shopping, folks. And again, if you want to be eligible to win one of our three $250 gift certificates to purchase stuff on the Fairway and Green site on all their brands, put your hand up, your electronic hand up. Here's the thing. Write this down if you're going to want to make an order. Sales two-way at summitgolfbrands.com. Say it again. Sales, the number 2, sales two-way, the way our logo looks, at summitgolfbrands.com. I'm sure somebody's going to put it in the chat so you can see it there. Sales two-way at summitgolfbrands.com. For corporate orders, if you want to order 5, 50, whatever it is, you'll send them an email and say roughly what you're looking for, and they'll get right back to you. And they're geniuses at saying, hey, how about this one for this group, this one for that group, logo or not logo, they'll work with you. They reproduce the logos beautifully. And if you don't take up this opportunity, you don't write me in a week and say, Mark, I haven't done my Christmas shopping yet. Do it tonight, get it done, and Jack and his friends will work it out. So Jack, just tell people before we go to questions, you get one of those emails to sales2 at summitgolfbrands.com. What happens next?
So we will send along a corporate catalog, which has dozens of product offerings from our brands, and you can hop on a phone call. We have a salesperson here right now at the ready if you want to hop on and speak about it, and we'll pass along the catalog for you to check things out and get what you need. And I think it's important, as you said, Mark, the holiday creeps up, and because we do everything in-house, we can turn product in 10 business days. For developing a logo, it's an additional 5 days. So if you back into that, and by December 1st, if we have your order info, we can get you everything you need, whether it's corporate or otherwise, by the Christmas holiday for both.
And the bigger the order, the more a generous discount that would
exactly
be
right.
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
right.
So
the prices that you all would see on our websites, they would be discounted off of that price depending on quantity.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, folks, this is a premium product. I'm not going to tell you it's a Gap t-shirt. I'm not going to tell you it's a Kirkland sweater. These are premium products. But if you've got people in your life, customers, clients, employees, you want to give a premium product to, just trust me, this is it. No one will open this and say, they'll say, this is the most beautiful thing. And what they'll say is, thank you, if they don't know the brand, thank you for introducing me to the brand. All right, so we're going to go to your questions now. You can ask about specific products. You can ask about the history of this great American company and how they've achieved so much success. Or if you want to ask just like, small details about how to order, we can do that too. Here's what I'd like to do. Keep your hands up because lots of you want to be eligible to win the $250 gift certificates. If you want to ask a question, you don't want to ask a question, turn your camera off, leave your hand up, but just turn your camera off. If you do want to ask a question, camera on. And if I call on somebody and you don't have a question, make one up. Make one up. Kelly, welcome in. Thanks for being part of this. Questions for Billy and for Jack.
Hi guys. Oh, can you hear me?
You're all
Okay.
good. We hear you.
So in addition to being golfing family, we're sailors, spend a lot of time in the water. What do you have for, well, I actually think your products would be a good fit at a lot of yacht club clothes stores, just, future business opportunity down the line. But what do you have that's like waterproof or would be best?
Well, one of the brands that was meant or as part of Summit Golf Brands is called Zero Restriction, and we are probably the best performance brand in golf. We guarantee our waterproof product for the life of the product. If I know maybe as a sailor, that if you use Gore-Tex when you're out on the water, the salt water actually goes through it. So
yes.
we have two different products that we make and neither one of them actually deteriorate with salt water. So you can use it to go sailing. If waterproof gear is what you're looking for, there's really not anything better out there than Zero Restriction.
Zero Restriction?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've got an incredible women's line. I mean, it's our #1 women's assortment. So you'll have plenty to choose from.
Awesome. Thank you.
Billy's been the creative director since 2011. That's a pretty good long run. And again, he's got his own label, one of the sub brands here of B Draddy. And I say this all the time, Billy. I only will wear your underwear for the rest of my life. You're the one
stealing it out of my drawer.
It's the most comfortable underwear I've ever bought. It's just phenomenal. Boxers.
Yeah, actually, my mom took my Fairway and Green pullover. So I got
Buy another one, Kelly.
You get a two-way one?
No, I didn't because it was like some of the women's. It didn't have as much of the two-way.
Got it.
We're going to add. We've talked about it. Kelly, thank you. And make sure you tell your club pro shop to switch over if they're not already selling Fairway and Green. Thank you, Kelly.
Yacht club. We actually sell yacht clubs.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Tell them to switch over. Alan, welcome in. Questions for Jack and for Billy.
Thank you for having me, Mark, Jack and Billy. I was just checking out the website and the merino quarter zip. It looks beautiful. I want that as a Secret Santa gift to my friends on here who know me. Which color would you recommend? The orange looks amazing. I love orange, and the Olympia, the purple is beautiful as well. So I'm deciding between those colors.
Well, I design all the colors, so you're asking me to make a choice between my children.
Well, look at his skin tone, Billy.
I would say actually with your skin tone, I would say the orange would probably go better.
Yeah, it's a great orange. Kelly, put your hand
back.
People
with gray hair like me, the purple would be good.
Yeah, Kelly, put your hand back up. I inadvertently lowered it, but put it back up so you're eligible. Alan, thank you. And again, smart to go look at the website to check out the products, and please put your hand back up too, because I reflexively lowered it. Thank you, Alan. Jack has been with the firm. Mr. President's been here 12 years and oversees everything, all the brands. Billy's brand B Draddy, Zero Restriction, Zero's Fairway and Green, and EP New York. What's EP New York, Jack?
EP New York is a ladies brand that also has a lot of history to it and is most golf fashion specific within our portfolio.
Got it. All right. Charles, welcome in. Tell folks what's on your mind on this great evening here at the showroom in Manhattan after you unmute. Jack, Charles, are you able to unmute? Let's see. One more time. All right. While Charles works on that, let's go to Bill. Bill Kirby, welcome in. Unmute if you would. Tell folks what's on your mind. Oh, we just lost Bill's camera. Let's see here, moving everybody around. Bill, are you able to turn your camera back on? Let's see. Instead of unmuting, you turned your camera off. All right. Let's go to Susan. Oh, there we go. All right, Bill. Camera on, unmuted, hand up.
Oh, did it.
Floor is yours, Bill Kirby.
Thank you. I ordered, wrong Bill.
No, Bill Kirby, you're good.
Oh, I'm on. Okay. I ordered the quarter zip merino wind, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And
go ahead, Bill.
And then the other thing I was wondering about was the length of the golf shirts. I'm long waisted and wondered, are they pretty long, or are they kind of, how's the cut on them?
Yeah, I'm long waisted myself as well, and yeah, I think I feel very confident that they would fit you. I come from a family of long waisted men, and I get zero complaints from my brother and my children.
Yeah, Bill, thank you. Great question. I will say, in terms of sizing, because I'm kind of a freak about sizing, they're true sized plus a little bit is my experience. So you're not going to, like with the waisting and the length, you're not going to find it's too short, but they're pretty close to true size. Billy, am I right about that? Compared to
I'd say that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Doug. Doug, welcome. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm a golfer. I'm not a 14 handicap. I'm more in the 30s, but I enjoy it. And I've won fairway and green. Apologize, don't have it on. But my question is, I mean, you guys seem to, the clubs I go to, the nice private clubs seem to have fairway and green. I don't see you at public golf courses. Do you guys vet your country clubs to kind of, you mentioned, Mercedes, Rolex to kind of fit in that product line. Do you guys look for the Greenwich country clubs versus the East Hampton public course, or do you sell to anybody?
Good question, gentlemen.
So we try to be the premium price point at let's say a daily fee course. We would sit at their, highest price point level. And then at, a super high-end resort or private club, we would be kind of in that mid-price range. We're adding salespeople on a regular basis to make sure that we can not drive by a golf club. But I would say as the post-pandemic golf boom has continued, it's clear that whether daily fee or super high-end premium, there's an appetite for our type of products.
Yeah, Doug, great question. And so they're not in my club. So until they're in my club, I will not rest. They're not in my club. Again, opportunity today, just shoot off an email to Jack and Billy and their colleagues. They'll get right back to you. Whether you want 5, 50, 500, get your holiday shopping done tonight with the folks from Fairway and Green and Summit. Sales two-way at summitgolfbrands.com. Shoot them an email and you'll have an opportunity to get your shopping done tonight. Susan was in our little video. Happy customer back tonight. Susan, we already know you're a happy customer. What do you want to say or ask with Billy and with Jack?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was just going to put in a plug for your zero restriction because I bought that. And I remember thinking, boy, that's kind of expensive for a jacket, but it was well worth it. I mean, I was out in like pouring rain and I was dry the whole time. So that's a plug for that product.
Yep.
And then the EP brand is also something I've used. So if my country club, and there's an even more high-end one in Cooperstown, leather stocking, do they contact you? I mean, if I put in a plug for you guys, they just reach your sales. You don't have, they have to contact you, right?
How's that work? What should people tell their clubs? And I'm asking too, because as I told you, my club doesn't carry you guys yet. What should people say to their clubs if they want to make that recommendation?
I would say in this scenario, we love the name of the club. We could do that offline, but what really helps us is if we're not currently being sold and they start hearing about it from members or guests that there's an interest, that moves the needle for them. So just any kind words about the product, like you said, on the zero restriction or the fairway and green is validation for them. And then it's my team and I's job to go make that outreach and show them the product if they haven't seen it.
All right.
Yeah, well,
Susan.
you know how sales work. I mean, sometimes you have to knock on the door more than once.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and so I'll just go and say I love it, and they'll go, oh yeah, that's nice. You know,
Yeah. Stay
We'll
on
see
it,
you on the
Susan.
course.
Stay on it, Susan. But also we'll reach out to you and get the name.
Yes.
Thank you for that. All right, Deborah.
Okay.
Sorry, Susan. Go ahead. Unmute. I apologize. Go ahead.
And then I would encourage you to put more stuff that's two-way related for women.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's a fair argument. Maybe they've upped it, but we'll keep upping it. You got to buy more though. Deborah put in the chat. I don't read the chat. I just glance at it. Shrinkage. My experience, your guys' stuff doesn't shrink much. But Billy, should people expect shrinkage in washing?
With the fairway and green product, you can really there's not much shrinkage at all.
Yeah.
It'd be under 1%. So
Yeah.
nothing that would make a difference in the way something fits.
As I said, as close to true size as I've ever of any company I've ever bought. All right. One last time, folks. You don't need to do it tonight, but you should. You've got a couple weeks to reach out to Jack and Billy and their colleagues, but do it tonight. Just shoot them an email, get the process started. Say, I got 50 employees or I got 25 customers or 80 clients, and give an idea of what you want. All polos or some mix of polos and vests, whatever it is. Sales two-way at summitgolfbrands.com, and just shoot them the email, get the process started, and they'll help you out. Closing words, Billy. Go in sales mode here. Just explain to people.
I'm really proud of our partnership. You seem to have a very, very loyal following here. We are extremely honored to be associated with you and all of your followers there. I could just say, the one great thing about working for Fairway and our other brands makes my job easy because I just make the best high quality product that I can. And when we do that, the customer responds to it. And so I firmly stand behind our quality, and I think you will, really appreciate it if you happen to give us a chance.
Yeah. And Jack, again, your sales team's ready. Just explain to folks what they can do if they want to get the process going. And then after, how it will work, like where the stuff will show up. Are you going to ship direct? Can they send you addresses and you'll ship directly, or will they ship them all to them? How does that work?
Yes. So we'd set up an account personalized for you. We can set up your own logos, and we would drop ship it to your home or corporate address, wherever that might be. So all we need is if you email the sales two-way at summitgolfbrands.com, we'll respond quickly with corporate catalog and set up a time to talk about it in more detail and get what you need. Okay.
Again, you all know, I say it almost every day, but I'll say it again. These are premium products, American company, and beautiful stuff. And if you gift this for the holidays, you'll be a hero. Whether you're talking about giving it someone who does golf, or just someone who wants to wear great American clothes, here's your opportunity. Again, send them an email and get the process going. 3 of you have been selected, and we'll email you shortly if you've won the $250 gift certificate. And obviously, you can use that on the site to buy whatever you wish. And I'll say one more time, you can get two-way merch if you want and give that away. Spread the word about two-way. Or you can get your corporate logo on there, or just the plain stuff. Whatever you want, and Jack and Billy and their colleagues will work with you. Very grateful to you both. We love the partnership, and I couldn't be happier, and love doing the show from the showroom here. And hopefully I'll get a set of keys. And if I'm ever running late and I can't get to our studio, I'll just come in right in here. And I love being surrounded by the beautiful clothes, but also outstanding snacks here. And as best I can tell, unlimited Diet Coke. Gentlemen, enjoyed the half an hour. Really, as I said, love spending time with you. And right now, everybody, send the email off and get your process going. And I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time with Sean and Dan on the morning meeting. Have a great night, everybody.